Welcome to the Extremist Movie Debate. And tonight, we're talking 2017's Transformers 5, The Last Night. This movie currently has a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm unpaid intern Jeff.
I'm Ethan. One of us is going to love it, one of us is going to hate it.
Let the coin decide their fate.
I love it.
Hey guys, don't start a long con to destroy our planet because spoilers are ahead. I'm sorry, bud.
Like I already stated, it has a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Redundancy.
So, Ethan, since you love this movie, Mike McGranahan of Aisle Seat says the studio and film. Just a little bit of a slip there. So he says the studio and the filmmakers have vomited up a loud, unfocused, utterly nonsensical Transformers mess. Jamal Dean Groupboom of Independent Online says nothing in this film makes sense. Nick Shager of The Daily Beast says that it achieves a sort of terrible abstract grandeur. What are the chances that one of America's last few true auteurs, Michael Bay, has made a breathtaking piece of cinematic history that the critics simply do not understand? Will future generations be dumbfounded by the negative press, much in the same way that we are with Lord of the Flies or The Catcher in the Rye? You have 1 minute.
Absolutely. I think it's important to know that this movie also made over $40 million. That's, cool. You know, it's a good testament to how much audiences do love this movie, so I think that the critics will be proven wrong in the future. I think it's also important to note that this movie, was made by an auteur. You have essentially Mark Wahlberg carrying around a talisman in this movie, and you have a portal beneath Stonehenge, and that just completely reminds me of them finding the Black Monolith in 2001: A Space Odyssey. And to me, those are such similar movies where you have just this complete other technological world set in space that is coming also to our lives, whether it be on Earth or in space, trying to battle with that technology and finding the unknown out of this world. And that is essentially what this movie is, just like 2001: A Space Odyssey was doing.
Okay, thank you. Just to interject really quickly, 40 million is not that successful of a movie. It's a decent.
You have $40 million?
Jeff, you have 30 seconds to respond.
Thank you. And what you just said was a lot of nothing. Yeah, you just said space and Earth and 2001: A Space Odyssey. You didn't really make a real point there. You're just yammering on about nothing. The fact of the matter is, this movie doesn't really have a plot. It's just arbitrarily defined space rules and then thrown into arbitrarily defined Earth rules, and everybody's supposed to be okay with everything going on because, oh, cool, there's a Transformer just blowing shit up. But at the end of the day, there's no real plot, so there's nothing really to follow other than explosions.
Thank you, Jeff. Ethan, you have 15 seconds.
Look, I'm sorry that this movie went over your head, but it clearly has a plot. You have a descendant of Merlin who has access to a space thing that needs to pull together the portal. So what it is, I can't remember. Cybertron is broken, and they have to use Optimus Prime in order to get the energy out of Earth to regenerate Cybertron.
Can you just stop talking for a second so Joe
Jeff, you have 15 seconds.
Thank you. So Cybertron is, they go, oh, Earth is another Autobot planet. It's called Cybertron. You guys fucked that up, but now we're gonna blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't really fucking matter because at the end of the day, we're just gonna save the planet because Optimus Prime is a big... No, let me be Ethan.
You don't know what Cybertron is. You don't understand.
Both of you stop! That is not what's happening now.
I mean,
Stop! I am not Lester Holt. I am Anderson Cooper. You stay in line, both of you.
I've seen the first and the fourth and the fifth, so I got it.
Unpaid intern Jeff, since you hate this movie, this question is for you.
Thank you.
Hayden Mears of Starburst says the last night. Hayden Mears of Starburst says the last night isn't what we wanted it to be, but by God, is it what we expected it to be? Simply because a movie exceeds already low expectations, does it deserve credit for being looked upon fondly? Should this result in a positive review? You have 1 minute.
Absolutely not. And this movie doesn't exceed expectations whatsoever. This movie hits the mark below our expectations. We think that, you know, there's going to be something, at least something cool, but no, it's just fucking Michael Bay throwing a bunch of shit and seeing what sticks. There's no plot, there's no There's nothing to this movie other than the fact that there's robots blowing shit up. Michael Bay thinks it's a great idea to slow-mo a 14-year-old ass running, and everyone just goes like, okay, perv, thank you. And so he just expresses to go, yeah, there's some tits on screen, bleh, we're dudes jerking into the crowd, bleh. But like this, why does he think this is a good idea? It's the same shit he did in Transformers when T.J. Miller makes the comment about the niece being hot, and Mark Wahlberg is like, well, this is your niece. Niece goes, what do you mean? It's like, a hot niece. It's like, it's so disgustingly stupid, and he expects everybody to be into it, but he's just...
Thank you, unpaid intern Jeff. I appreciate that. Ethan, you have 30 seconds to respond.
Like, there's nothing wrong with an attraction to the opposite sex. That's just human, and I think it's important to just be human in this movie about humans and robots.
When you're talking
about how this movie has no plot, this movie has a very elaborate plot, and to its credit, it is much more than, so you get recycled garbage from, say, maybe the Fast and the Furious movie. Just because cars go vroom, everyone still loves it. This movie at least has a plot that involves aliens, that involves ancient weaponry, that involves Merlin's staff, that involves ancient swords that come out of talismans like Matt LeBlanc in Lost in Space killing spiders.
Thank you, Ethan. Jeff, you have 15 seconds.
Well, you're wrong. Like,
time's ticking, pal.
This movie's so stupid.
I disagree.
I'm so mad right now that we're actually talking about this. Just let Ethan
I'm gonna let the time go. Okay, that's 15. Ethan, you have 15 seconds.
All right, so they buried Merlin's staff, and that staff controls a metal dragon, which they're going to use to either stop wars or to defend Cybertron trying to parasite energy off of Earth some point in the near future. So one of Merlin's descendants has been watched and protected.
Ethan, thank you. From the start of our new format, I have been saying I was not going to watch this movie, and from the last few minutes of not understanding a thing you guys just said, I feel like I made the right choice. You have 4 minutes to debate among yourselves.
Okay, so Anthony Hopkins is watching all of the descendants of Merlin and is making sure that everybody is.
So how was Anthony Hopkins watching the?
Because he's like essentially a Freemason.
No, they say
they call it like he's a Lake Woebegone or something.
They only include him because they say he's from the Wiki lineage.
Yeah,
which is
the WikiLeaks. Yeah.
So yes, the WikiLeaks.
They did not say Witwiki.
Yeah, they said Witwiki.
No, that's not at all what it said. No, they showed what it was. It was not Witwiki.
No, you're stupid.
Just because you had stuff in your ear. Did you need to go to the doctor and get the little suction thing out of your ear holes?
Anthony Hopkins being on screen, because that's exactly what he did. He was like,
Anthony Hopkins is flawless in this movie. Anthony Hopkins flips off cars while giggling.
I did research on this shitty movie, and I feel bad about myself for doing it, because this movie is so fucking stupid that no one should need to think about it.
There's not a descendancy line of Witwikis. You just heard this incorrectly.
No,
however, it doesn't matter, because either way, whatever his name is, he is watching the descendants of Merlin. He knows that she's a descendant of Merlin. She doesn't know it. There's a big reveal. The frat boy next to me loved this reveal. He was so on board with it. He knew it 2 seconds before the movie told him that it was happening. And he made sure to go, oh, and then told his girlfriend next to him. And, they probably had sex that night, because this movie is working on many, many different levels. And it's important that as an audience, we can be on board with that as well. So just because you didn't understand the complexities of it doesn't mean that the movie itself is bad.
Okay, I'll secede to your point. I'll applaud that guy because he got to bang it out that night. Let's high five on that.
Yeah. I mean,
but this movie wasn't a hard movie to
high five on that.
Well, you did it, bud. You're a sexist.
Gross.
And so here's the thing.
I just want to cut in and say I don't like that you guys did that either.
Can we wash our hands? Yeah, let's just wipe it off. But the plot is so fucking simple that it's borderline impossible.
Is it so simple? But you said it doesn't have a plot, that you don't understand it. I think the plot is actually very intricate. You've got the Tooch, he's a drunkard, and then he gets the staff because there's aliens.
Who was a character in Transformers.
Was he?
Yes, he was a major part of Transformers.
Oh shit, man.
And now he's
Do you think his character
Merlin.
in Transformers was also a descendant of Merlin?
No. I don't.
I think so. Oh my god, this movie works on so many levels.
No, it doesn't, because it's just recycling shitty casts, and they got the closest thing to
shitty casts? Stanley Tucci is one of the hardest working American actors in our lifetime.
Who's in it for how many minutes? How many
flawless.
minutes is he
You watch Hunger Games, you think this movie really sucks. I want to watch Battle Royale. All of a sudden, Stanley Tucci's on the screen, smiling.
I don't give a fuck about anything.
No one gives a fuck about Hunger Games, but Stanley Tucci makes it watchable.
How many minutes was Stanley Tucci?
Easy A makes it watchable.
Stop. How many minutes was Stanley Tucci
one of the best
in Transformers? How many minutes was he in the movie?
Rated.
How many minutes was he in the movie?
Oh, probably about 10.
No, it was like 3.
Well, that's
So he
your
did-
opinion. For me, it lasts a long
No,
time. It lasts in my heart, and I believe he also comes back
So,
in
yeah,
some
my
pictures.
fact,
You also
I'm
see
saying
his
it's just-
well-preserved corpse later in the movie.
Can we talk about the blatant racism?
I don't know if there's any racism.
Are you
this
sure?
is Michael
How-
Bay
okay,
film. Michael
so-
Bay
so
always
how about
has
that
people of
moment
very different
when,
races. I mean, you've got
the
black
government
people,
is
white people, you know, Cybertron ladies,
Wrong,
Chinese
wrong,
or something at the
wrong,
end.
Wrong. If I can quote our great president, Donald Trump. Wrong. Fucking...
May he rest.
Yeah. Did he die?
Didn't he?
Did he?
Mm.
Oh. Let's dedicate this to Donald Trump. Let's grab him. So here's the thing. There's a moment where the government, Josh Duhamel of Las Vegas from TNT,
Pronounced DeHamel.
Josh Fergie is in this movie,
Oh.
and they're working with Megatron to, you know, try to track down this fucking talisman or whatever.
Yes.
And they they're releasing bad robots from.
And that's 4 minutes!
No relation to Jay.
I want to hear this.
That moment when they're releasing the bad robot prisoners, and it's like giant
Oh my
robots
god!
in gold chains.
You're complaining about Stanley Tucci not being in this movie, but you're going on and on about 30 seconds of this 2.5-hour movie.
No,
maybe
that
being
sequence,
racist.
That sequence is about 10 minutes long, and it's giant robots in like gold chains going.
Look,
"Come on,
man,
brother, I'll whoop
this
your
is the
ass."
5th
Like,
Transformers movie.
it's-
I'm just glad that they're not
it's
covered in
late.
Bud Light and Oreo logos. What's up?
And how did you guys really feel?
This
Loved
movie's
it.
fucking garbage. Literally one of the worst. It's. I'm still mad that I actually watched this movie. I texted Ethan the entire time, and we were talking about how much we hated it. So
I do want to put up that conversation. Yeah, it's a
it's a hard watch.
From the very beginning, you're like, okay, so King Arthur is fighting. I don't know who these people are, but apparently that's the end of the world.
They're called the Dark Ages.
Yeah,
They keep saying
they're
this is.
fighting the Dark Ages.
They literally say a bunch of times, this
Yeah.
is the Dark Ages. We need to keep fighting. We're fighting the Dark Ages.
So we do
This
not
is the end. Yeah.
understand at
So
all who King
it's
Arthur
just
and
they're
the Knights of the Round
evil.
Table are fighting, but apparently it's going to bring about the world's end.
And they
so
say
it's
a bunch
very,
of-
very important that
And they
these
say a
good
bunch of
guys
names
win.
Like you're expected to know every Knight of the Round Table. They're like, Arthur, blah blah blah, Tristan, blah blah blah, Trevor.
Now they
blah,
just
blah,
name
blah.
drop Lancelot,
Yeah.
but then it goes into like, oh, Merlin's late, everybody's gonna die. Oh, he
And
needs to
they're-
show up, everybody needs to die, and then it
and
cuts
they-
to Merlin, and then there's a big laugh because he's just riding a horse or whatever, stops
It
and
goes
drinks
another
for like
nip.
10
they
seconds.
say Merlin's a charlatan and a drunk, and then it turns out that Merlin is talking to a
Transformer.
an Autobot,
Yeah.
and the Autobot is what gave them powers during the Dark Ages, and it's like, who fucking cares at this point?
No, the problem is like
I was over it.
that was the first scene of this movie. Is
Yeah.
we have an army fighting another unknown army for stakes that we do not understand, and then it cuts to Merlin drinking in a moment of crisis. People are dying. We do actually see people getting killed, and Merlin stops to drink, and we're all supposed to laugh at this because
But-
it's showing it for 5 seconds, and it doesn't land whatsoever. And that is the entire movie for the next 2.5 hours.
The entire movie is like moments of like seriousness of like people dying, and then just Mark Wahlberg being like, "Well, he should have kept his head on the swivel," and it's just like, okay, cool. Like, I'm glad you're like mocking this dude for getting murdered today.
I got my shoulder shit on by a crow this afternoon a couple hours ago, and that was easily much more exhilaration than I ever felt watching this film.
How would you guys rate the movie?
Oh, before we do that, can we actually like talk about the blatant racism?
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's
but-
Michael Bay. Are you surprised?
I want to be surprised, but
This is also the same guy that does slow motion Baywatch a 14-year-old girl.
yeah, and just it's so like blatantly racist, but the fact that people who are stupid in the audience are still like laughing about
Yeah.
it genuinely bummed me out while I was in the theater.
So these were the two robots?
Oh, there's like
they-
this terrible
yeah,
montage
they
where
do
they're
a
like
mon- yeah.
bargaining for what?
Well, hold on,
what?
are these the two from the second train?
No,
No,
it's
it's
new
not. No,
ones.
these are all Decepticons that were in prison, and the government is making a deal with Megatron.
But they come out of
it's
the
just an
prison,
excuse to show
yeah.
all these fucking toys
Yeah,
that they
they-
want to release.
and it's like
But they're all horribly black stereotypes.
yeah, and Ethan didn't realize that until I brought it up because
Yep.
like they were coming out of the prison cells and they were wearing like big gold chains and be like,
Yep.
blah blah blah, I made you my bitch in prison, brother, and I'm like, oh man, like, am I watching a blaxploitation film right now, but just not made well? Like, I kind of got sad because every like white person in the audience was just like cackling, and I was like, oh man, you're just kind of terrible. Sorry.
it did feel like watching the 2 from the second one again.
Yeah. Which I saw the first, and I saw the fourth, and this one. So.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
So I'm up to speed.
Yeah.
They're all just...
Yeah, you're solid.
And how would you guys rate it?
You want to go first on this one?
No, not at all.
You go first, Jeff.
If it makes you more comfortable, I'll give it a 0 and no thunder whatsoever. Yeah, you would think, because usually I give credit for like, oh, you guys put images up on a screen and it was coherent, but it's not fucking coherent. Nope. None of it makes sense. It's like the shittiest trailer for 2.5 hours where just scenes just sort of, like they're juxtaposed, so they're supposed to connect, but they don't connect, and no moment of emotional levity lands whatsoever. It just is a jumble, you know, it's the film equivalent of a fucking word salad.
And no scene lasts more than 3 seconds.
But sometimes they feel like 18 minutes.
But also on top of that, between dialogue and then action, the aspect ratio changes every
Holy shit! That was the best part of this movie, was watching that change. You're like, you eventually you take yourself out of the movie so much because you give up, and you start watching the aspect ratio go from, you know, whatever it is, Cinescope to IMAX, during dialogue scenes for no reason.
And
I noticed that today.
So the fact that this movie blatantly immediately ripped off Stand By Me by having a small child go, you guys want to see some dead robots? And then walking train tracks, I just said, fuck you.
It's called an homage, Jeff.
Nah, I'm going to give this movie one
And then that girl takes care of the robot, and he says, wow, you have a big heart. Never see him again.
Nope. I'm pretty sure those kids are dead.
Probably.
Or they're probably like now on
Jeff, rating!
One lightning strike, a lot of thunder, but because I'm mad at this movie and I haven't let go of that anger.
Okay. It's fair.
It's like watching my parents divorce again.
My favorite review that I came across that I didn't use was a guy saying, I don't know how to feel about this movie. I'm angry at myself that I don't hate it as much as I want to, but I just have no feelings towards it. It just like deadened me inside.
No, I mean, it's not wrong.
Yeah.
Like, this movie's really fucking bad.
Pedals ambivalence.
So where can we find you?
So thanks for watching. You can go ahead and like and subscribe. Comment below if you'd like us to do a movie in the future. You can write down a question for that movie, and either Joe or Beta or Jeff, myself, one of us will read it on that episode, and we can debate that on the episode. And otherwise, thanks guys.
Thanks and good night.